Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Roast podcast, where we sit down with coffee shop owners, coffee creators, and roasters who are very passionate in the coffee industry. Today, I'm joined by Jackie from Virgo Rising Coffee. In this episode, we talk about how she started in the coffee industry, what inspired her to launch Virgo Rising, and her mission to build a business focusing on eco-friendly products, vegan-friendly options. So grab your cup of coffee and let's get into it. Jackie, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Pretty good. How are you?
Doing good. So, can you give our listeners or viewers a little description about yourself and what do you do?
So I run Virgo Rising Coffee. Started it in 2022. So we're going into our fifth market season, which is exciting. I've been in food service since probably like 2005. But back in like 2017, I just started getting into more of the barista coffee side of everything. And I've kind of just been going down that tunnel for a while.
So, how did you come up with the name or concept for Virgo Rising? Like, what does it mean to you, that branding? How do you describe it?
Well, the name Virgo Rising, actually, I got the idea from one of my friends. I was actually going to call it the Lost Mitten initially, because I feel like in the winter, especially, there's always that one random glove you see in a parking lot. And I was like,
Yeah.
that would be such a cute name for like a coffee shop or a bakery. And my friend, Caitlin, she actually was like, it'd be a really good name for your coffee shop is Virgo Rising because my birth chart for astrology, my rising sign's in Virgo. And she was like, that would be such a cute name for a coffee shop. And I was like, I freaking love it. Like, I'm going to go with that because Virgos are very hardworking, practical. They always have a lot of interests and a very big zest for life. And it's rising, so it's kind of like, like when the sun rises, it's kind of like a coffee shop first thing in the morning. I just loved how it sounded. I kind of started with the branding for it to kind of maybe focus more so, like start it with coffee and have the quality be good, but also make sure that I'm starting this right at the base of being very environmentally conscious of the choices that I make just from the beginning. So, like, all of my cups and lids are compostable. I started Virgo Rising with being a vegan, so nothing was dairy based or anything. I get all my ingredients from the Honest Weight Co-op in Albany. Even my whole milk that I offer, that is also from the Honest Weight Co-op. So just very like focused on quality and eco consciousness right from the beginning because it's easier to just start there than to have to backpedal.
Yeah, I seen that all in your like website for Virgo Rising that you're more into the eco-friendly stuff and the whole vegan
Mm-hmm.
free. How's that gone? Pretty good for your whole concept with the coffee and everything?
I actually have gotten a decent amount of people who have never really tried non-dairy milk to be more open-minded to it, especially considering I don't upcharge for it. Like if my coffee pop-up started vegan, why would I upcharge for non-dairy milk when that's the only option? So I have gotten a decent amount of people who swore by whole milk or swore by 2%, to be okay with having oat milk. Like they've tried it and been like, oh, actually that's pretty good. Like I like it. And like they'll probably still go and get whole milk or, regular dairy at other coffee shops because like if you like the whole milk, why would you upcharge for something you're cool with not having? But it's always nice to get people to try something a little bit different and actually enjoy it. And I actually started offering whole milk last year, mostly because there's a few people who had dietary restriction, and a few people who wanted just single ingredient milk because some whole milk, like some oat milks and like almonds and stuff like that, like have a lot of extra stuff and they just wanted single ingredient situations. I started offering whole milk last year, but at an upcharge. And then I actually collect all of that upcharge and I donate the upcharge I'm charging for the whole milk to local animal sanctuaries in the area to kind of, I didn't want to have to do a whole rebrand of everything. So that was kind of like the middle ground.
Yeah, it's kind of hard, especially when you're trying to make something more catered to vegan free for especially for a business because there's too many people out there that have like dietary restrictions like, almond. Some people can't have almond,
Mm-hmm.
oats, some people are sensitive to oats. And so you just got to be more versatile and it's just kind of hard because you want to keep that whole 100% vegan when it comes to your branding and stuff like that,
Yeah.
which is totally understandable. What made you decide to come up with this venture and just get into the coffee space, like, out of nowhere? Like, how did that all begin?
To be perfectly honest with you, it started in kind of like a ridiculous kind of way. I worked at Starbucks for years, like I was there over 7 years, and I was kind of sick and tired of working for people that didn't know what they were doing.
I'm tired of people that just don't want to work or do their job, you know?
Yeah, and like when like CEOs or district managers, like they don't really come in and work the space and then they start saying we're actually going to be doing this now and I'm like that's going to slow things down and they're like it'll be fine and I'm like okay. So I kind of I've always enjoyed leading. I've always enjoyed like just all of the work that goes into it. I've enjoyed watching people that like work with me like grow and learn new things. And so I knew that I wanted to run a business for a while, but I never really knew exactly in what field. And like I had a couple businesses I started, but they were mostly craft related, like making cards and stuff that I was like, this isn't going anywhere. Kind of just really enjoyed, and I just really didn't want to stop doing it, even if it took a little while for it to take off. And the other main reason, this is going to sound silly, I hate jeans, loathe wearing restrictive clothing, and most jobs think that jeans is like this casual option to looking clean. I would rather never wear jeans again. And if you run your own stuff, who's going to tell you you can't wear leggings? So the comfort, being able to wear what I want to, it has been a major choice. And I really am very specific of what I sign up for based off of my own, like being able to make my own choices and stuff like that. Like I feel like I'm 36, I'm turning 37 in a couple weeks. I would really like to not really listen to other people so much, especially when I don't feel like they actually know too much about what they're talking about.
So I see that you're doing a lot of the farmers markets and everything. So how does that like going so far as since you started from have you done anything else besides farmers market like private events or any other, pop-ups?
I started doing the Albany Washington Park Farmers Market, and I really like the location for it. I liked it being in a park. I just thought that was so cute, but it wasn't really like taking off in a way that I needed it to be able to keep doing what I do. So that was like a really difficult decision to switch farmers markets to what I do on Saturdays to the Delmar one. Because I had so many vendors that I really enjoyed working with and everything. So I kind of had to like separate myself from being like, I'm going to miss you guys, but I really need to look out for my business. This is my baby, you know? So when I started doing Delmar, that was actually like a big takeoff point for me. Doing the Delmar Farmers Market has been very like good for growth. The community is great. They do a good job of advertising from what I feel like I've noticed. And then I've also really enjoyed doing the Albany Twilight Markets. I just kind of like that spooky, kind of like, Halloween vibe kind of market that they do. And I like that it's just a second Saturday of every month from like April to December, excluding November. So I enjoy like doing those kinds of events. I've really enjoyed working with them, like Kayla and Marianne and Mark. Like they've all been really great people and they're very helpful and communicative, which is I feel like in some ways a lost art.
So can you give us like let our viewers know or our listeners know how did you get your start? Like what is the process of starting your own coffee venture and then the cost and everything else and how has it grown and progressed throughout the your whole time from start to finish?
Yeah, I would have to say it's scary as hell in the very beginning because you really don't know what's important. You don't know very much. So learning curve is something that is definitely going to be exhausting. And there's been a couple times where I've spent money on something I really didn't need to spend money on. Like in the very beginning, I wasn't sure of all the different kinds of like rules and regulations between counties and cities whenever I have events in different areas and stuff. And I didn't realize it was so easy to find that information. All you have to do is just like go to their health department and figure out the specifics of what they need you to apply for. And I definitely wasted probably like a little bit more than $500 asking people for their advice on things that I could have just called the office for free because you're so
Yeah.
worried about not following all of the regulations and stuff and getting fined. And in general, like they're very helpful and communicative and like they answer questions and like they'll just tell you flat out like, okay, you need this and you need this, you know? and every county's a little bit different. Like Albany needs a menu and they want your CE 200 or whatever worker disability forms you need and stuff like that to get permit to do markets in Albany County. And Troy's a little different. They want a little extra, like more forms filled out. So you can just call and ask. You don't have to spend money asking for someone else's like professional advice on something, that you can just ask the department themselves. And that was like one thing where I was like, I could have just probably taken care of that myself. You start out like that, I think is probably the most, at least for me, it was the most like exhausting, is just worried about doing the wrong thing and screwing yourself over. And then I did the wrong thing anyways.
That's one thing that you learned, and then you're like, okay, now I don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
And look at me, I'm has grown
Yeah.
really good when it comes to doing that.
Yeah. Like, and it can be a little, it can definitely be confusing. It's a whole nother area. Like the learning curve is definitely probably the most exhausting thing about running a business, because some things want some things and some things don't. But if someone is a genuine small business owner and they just want small businesses to do better than corporations, they'll be fine with asking questions. Some businesses, they won't ask questions and they'll gatekeep, which low key ticks me off, because I'm like, if you're good at what you do, someone else just starting should not be your concern. I feel like
They're
in
worried
some
about
way we have to,
competition.
yeah, like in some ways, like, yeah, competition is very important and you have to make sure that you take care of yourself. But in some ways, I feel like you could still help someone else out. Like I willingly answer questions because I know that what I'm working towards and what I'm offering is going to be a little different. Everyone has their niche.
Yeah, and yours is very unique on, especially when it comes to other coffee shops and other businesses out there trying to keep like the whole thing like a vegan type coffee shop itself or a pop-up. But
Yeah.
I see that you're making your syrups in-house on top of that,
Hmm.
which is amazing because not too many coffee shops are doing that. But I started seeing a lot more coffee shops starting to do somewhat making syrups in-house. Not all of them, but a majority of them are. And like, how's that process doing for you? And like, how do you keep up with the trends and what's going on? Because there's so many different seasonal lattes and different trends that are happening.
Yeah, there's a
Right
lot.
now, right now we got like the cookie butter latte and the banana is coming back again, and it's. I feel like we need to be more creative when it comes to drink options. I feel like everybody keeps on repeating every year the same things over and over.
Hmm.
We just need that one person to create something different that the next trend is going to follow.
Yeah.
Are you going to be doing something like that?
I mean, I write down, like, I have a little note in my Google Keep where if I randomly have like a drink idea that I really want to do, I'll like save it in there. And there's a few that I've done that I've thought up, but there's a few that I've seen online that I'm like, okay, that sounds weird. And I'm probably not going to put it on my menu, but I do want to try it. I'll like save it anyways and like mark down like where where it came from, because if by chance I do really like the drink, I just want to give credit where credit's due. And I want to be that person where they're going, there's no way she thought of that herself. Like, we literally posted that drink 7 months ago. And that's even if they come across my profile. But I just feel like, it's giving credit to someone else who's in another whole state isn't going to ruin my sales here. Who's going to be like,
Yeah.
Jackie has this at Delmar Farmers Market. Let's go drive 4 hours away to a different coffee shop in Massachusetts to try the same drink that they thought of first. But it's like, at least that gets them to look at other coffee shops, where maybe if they're in the area for vacation, they'll be like, oh, like I have like the Nitro Bar. Let's go try that place. So I feel like in some ways there's so many ideas, and there's some that keep rotating, like the Dubai chocolate. I feel like that just keeps
Yeah.
like whenever it was really high and then it kind of goes down a little bit and then immediately goes back up. It's like that just like, I think it's like not a terrible idea, but I feel like in some ways that drink just won't die.
Like today, I went over to another coffee shop. They were doing a new opening somewhere in Clifton Park. It's
Hmm.
Pita and Olive. They're doing like their own coffee bar in the Mediterranean restaurant. And then next door, you got Nothing But Bun. And they're doing the Dubai chocolate bun cakes. And I'm
Hmm.
like, I'm just tired of the Dubai chocolate. That
Yeah.
trend needs to die.
Yeah. Like
It
it's
needs to die.
good. I'm not going to lie, but it's like, it's been going for a while. And it's like almost impressive that it's been able to keep people's attention this long. Cause I feel like, especially online, keeping someone's attention for this long, it's got to be something. Cause I feel like sometimes people just keep seeing new stuff and everything like that. So in some ways, it's impressive it's lasted this long. But in some ways, I'm like, okay, I think I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. And I think just a lot of these things just keep on resurfacing over and over again, especially with the drink lineups.
Hmm.
Like right now, Dunkin' Donuts has come up with their bucket 48 ounce or 42-ounce bucket lattes. Well, the bucket lattes has been a trend since a couple years ago. I did one video last year when one place is doing a bucket latte. Now, Boutique Coffee Made Simple is doing a bucket latte, and now everybody else is starting getting into the trend. And it's just like, okay, it's something new for an upstate area because nobody's really doing it.
Hmm.
So now that's the first coffee shop locally where I can get a bucket latte. And I did that this morning. Are you planning to do something like that?
I don't think I'd start doing like the bucket latte. I don't hate it. I actually saw your post of the bucket latte and I was like, that's a lot of coffee, but I do want to try it at least once. That's like a definitely do it once kind of thing. The only reason why I wouldn't do that, nothing against the trend, I don't know if I'd be able to find buckets that are compostable.
You might. Who knows? You never know.
Yeah, like I think that that would be more so of where it would be a hard time sourcing something like that that's compostable. Otherwise, like I'm not against it. Some people just want a huge coffee. It's that kind of day. And like for me personally, like caffeine doesn't really do too much to me. Like I don't really wake up or get jittery very often.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something where I'd be like, I'm just gonna have one big coffee and this is gonna be my day and it's gonna be awesome. But it's like I would have to find out how to source that as like a compostable situation.
Are you gonna get into the matcha or no?
I do have matcha, actually. I started offering it last year. I haven't really gotten into having any matcha featured drinks yet, just because I feel like in general, matcha is something that is in such high demand that I feel like adding it to a featured drink is just going to make it like less prevalent. It's more of like a sourcing situation. I just want to make sure I don't run out. And a lot of people, when they come in and they look at like featured drinks, like that's sometimes where they look at first. They like looking at the specialties or the seasonals or the features. And I just want to make sure that I don't blow through my matcha too fast. But I do have a few matcha like vibe kind of feature drinks in my little Google Keep tab. Some of them are a little bit like it's been done, but it's still something I haven't done. And a few of them are like a little bit of like a different idea and stuff like that.
Since you've been around the Albany area or around upstate New York, I know that you probably travel from coffee shop to coffee shop and try out their drinks. Has that ever helped you perfect your drinks as you taste test other coffee shop owners' drinks around the area or give you any ideas?
I actually mostly get my ideas for feature drinks from bakeries in the area. I don't really get too many ideas from other coffee shops. I usually, if I can't, like, there's usually a point in like August or September when I'm like, I can't think of another feature drink for this event and I want to have like three or I want to have four at this event. And I'll actually go to some local bakeries Instagrams and I'll think of drink ideas from baked goods that they've been doing. Cause I feel like in general, that's actually something that's a little bit more fun for me to kind of work with is a local baker's, seasonal stuff that they've been doing in like during the month and stuff.
So you're trying to take that bakery pastry or something and just feature a
Hmm.
drink out of it and try to be creative. So something different. Who
Yeah.
knew?
Yeah. Like Flower Bender in Troy. Um, I I think it was in June, I did Fallout Fest and they were the baker who was at Fallout Fest with me. And when I found out they were the ones who were going to be there, I actually looked and saw what kind of like stuff they were going to be bringing. And I kind of made drinks off of the baked goods that they were bringing to Fallout Fest. So it was kind of like, like has this chocolate almond cake where you could get like a chocolate drizzle almond syrup latte over at Virgo Rising for Fallout Fest. So I actually have a little bit more fun making featured drinks off of local bakeries like Bakery Nostalgia and Nostalgia Bakery. I always say his name backwards. Or Flower Bender, or Pretty Bake Shop that's in Rotterdam. We've done a few farmers markets together with Sarita. So I actually base most of my featured drinks. If I can't think of something on my own, I'll base it off of a local bakery and stuff like that. Cause I feel like that kind of gives me a little bit more creative output.
Yeah, because now the bakery is featuring something, and now they're putting coffee together. So you got the two best combinations: one coffee and a pastry, which is freaking awesome. It helps you and helps the bakery out to actually expand and grow, which is pretty cool. Which is a great concept.
Yeah.
Have you done any like special collaborations with these bakeries as you feature these drinks with them, or done anything together at some point?
I haven't really done too many collabs with them, mostly because most of the bakeries that I base my drinks off of, especially at first, like they didn't have locations. So like Nostalgia Bakery, he doesn't have a location. He does like the Troy Farmers Market. Joey does like other events and stuff. And Lewis, he I think in October 2024 just opened his bakery in Troy. So I don't do any organized collabs, but I definitely will look at their menus and base drinks off of certain things sometimes if I'm running out of ideas. I have wanted to do a
Okay.
couple, but in some ways, like Lewis, he already has like the whole coffee thing figured out. And so he's kind of got his own vibe. So I don't think he'd be against doing a collab, but I do actually sell my cold brew at Flower Bender in Troy. So anyone who goes in and gets a cold brew from them, it's Virgo Rising Coffee's cold brew. But I haven't done any actual like exact collabs with them.
Give us an example on like your choice of who you use as your beans for your roaster. Like who is roasting your beans and providing it for Virgo Rising.
So when I started Virgo Rising, I was using Brutus roasting, and I was using Brutus roasting for like the first few years. I only switched to using Sun and Moon, a guy I actually used to work with at Starbucks, who he doesn't work there anymore, I don't think. But he actually wanted to start up his own roasting situation. So he actually started roasting his coffee. And it's called Sun and Moon. And we actually started collabing mostly because we were thinking about trying to get a location in like maybe Troy or in Cohoes or something like that, and like having his roasting be on the backside and have the coffee shop Virgo Rising be at the front. So we're kind of like splitting the rent, splitting the utilities and stuff like that. Because that's one trend I think we need in some way to be okay with. It sucks, but I feel like as small businesses start to feel the strain of things going on and the economy, I feel like we need to start actually kind of being okay with sharing spaces with other businesses so that we can cut our own costs and still exist how we want to. A lot of people don't like doing that. They have their own business. They just don't want to have to like share anything. They want to be able to make their own decisions. But I feel like at some point, we're going to have to be a little bit okay with sharing business spaces with other businesses that we can bounce off of each other, like the coffee roasting being in the back and coffee shop in the front, so we can split certain things between two companies.
Yeah, it'll be good for both of you guys sharing a space, especially that he's doing something different. He's not actually
Hmm.
planning to actually have a coffee shop,
Yeah.
but that's when you come into play. When you have your coffee shop, you come up with the menu, the lattes, and everything else. While he deals with the roasting, where he can sell online
Hmm.
and then just do what he has to do with the beans itself, and just expand to other coffee shops or other places around the area, or even further beyond.
That's why we started working together in 2025, and we're going into working together in 2026 for the market season and stuff. That's why I switched from Brutus to Sun and Moon, is for the collaboration purpose. Otherwise, I would have continued to use Brutus roasting. Steven does a great job with roasting some like solid quality coffee.
Yeah, Steven does really a great job. I like
Hmm.
how
And he's so
he
freaking
does his
nice.
roasting. Yeah, he is. And I was grateful to have a tour in his facility. He gave me
Hmm.
the roasting process. It was pretty cool with Steven. Is he
Yeah.
is the Sun and Moon guy, or is he local, like around the area?
He used to roast down in Peekskill, but because he used to live in Albany, and he actually moved down to Long Island where his family all lives. And so he still roasts in New York and everything like that, and he'll actually deliver the coffee that I need when I order it. So he's not local to the capital region anymore, but the quality of the coffee and actually the amount of space that he's able to work with and the different kinds of roasts that he's able to offer is increased because he has a little bit more space where he roasts down in Long Island, which is kind of nice actually.
That is awesome. I'm happy that you guys are actually doing this and working together to get
Yeah.
this collaboration up and running.
Yeah, businesses bouncing off each other.
Is there anything like in the future that what you're planning to expand and how you're going to expand Virgo Rising, like the next couple of years, or do you have any plans or thoughts?
On and off, I have been trying to get some kind of storefront up and running. That is the goal. But currently, I have been trying to kind of like find some kind of funding for that. I have looked at some places and seen a few locations that are offered. I have one place that's in Troy that I've been like really like thinking about like for over a year, and but it requires a decent amount of renovations to actually like they still need to put up like some drywall in areas and stuff like that. So it's mostly I would probably have an actual shop in some capacity if I had the funding for it. Because that's like one of the downfalls to running a business for this long is that I have filed for taxes on the profit that I take in. And if you don't make like K or K, they're like, oh, well, you haven't made this much. So like we can't give you a loan or anything. And I'm like, if I made that much, I wouldn't need you.
Yeah, it's crazy though, because the banks want to be sure that you're able to pay the loan off and make a decent profit, and it's hard. It's hard, especially for someone starting off small and wants to have a brick and mortar place. And it's
Hmm.
just the downfall of what the banking is trying to offer or what you're trying to do to expand. And you have to come up with a business plan and what's your goal for the next 5 years to make sure that they think that you're suitable to get this loan to be able to pay it off,
Hmm.
especially when you want to start off. And it's not easy, especially for someone like you.
Yeah. And there's not going to be a point where I just completely like stop running Virgo Rising because I don't have a shop. Because in some ways, I also appreciate having the flexibility. Like, since I don't have a location, I don't have to staff hours. I don't have to worry about opening late or anything like that. Like, I go to where the events are. And it can get a little exhausting being outside because you're at the whim of Mother Nature and she can be ruthless sometimes. Like last May, that was a rainy freaking month. but
Yeah, exactly.
but in some ways I do appreciate the flexibility. So I'm kind of just grateful for some components that I definitely have the luxury of having right now that I wouldn't have the luxury of having if I had an actual location. But the shop will either exist or it won't. I'm cool either way. And I've started actually catering events. So I've actually started bringing my coffee set up to like baby showers, bridal showers. I think it was last May. No, it was the May before that. I actually did a like day after the wedding where I brought like coffee and like tea and lemonade for when they hosted a breakfast for everyone in the bridal party the next day.
Awesome. Awesome.
So,
See, that's a good way to
yeah.
start. Definitely. It's a good way to start getting more events, try to make more money, try to push the boundaries on trying to get you to that storefront, and
Mhm.
it's a lot.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot, but I mean, I've been doing it for so long. In some ways, what used to overwhelm me doesn't overwhelm me anymore because now like the system is there, the habits are there. So, and plus, whenever I feel like something is overwhelming, I try to figure out why it's overwhelming and fix it instead of just, you know, buckling down and getting it done. I'm like, okay, why is this consistently an issue? What am I missing here? And I will go in and I'll fix the problem. So it's not a consistent problem because that will drive me insane.
No, it's just like social media.
Hmm.
That's the one thing. Like I see that you try to help get your social media up into play to help you promote your, Virgo rising.
Hmm.
Has that has that done anything for you, or are you going to try to get more involved and trying to start posting more consistently, show people what you got, and try to advertise so you can get more and more events booked?
Yeah. So I've actually had a surprising amount of people when I post like featured drinks that I'm offering at certain events and everything. It always surprises me how many people will come up and say, "Oh, I saw you posted you were having this drink here and I just had to come to this event and try this." Like, I did a drink I think it was June or maybe July when I was doing my brunch themed coffee drinks and stuff at the Albany Twilight Market. and I made a drink that was called, I think it was called like waffles and bacon. And
That sounds amazing. I
yeah,
want to try that one.
yeah, that one was really, really cool. I had a lot of fun making that one. And when I posted it, they were like, I didn't know you were doing brunch themed drinks. Like, I saw you post it online because I don't usually do a theme for a few months. I usually do a theme per event. But I just wanted something to kind of like get all these ideas out of my head because I had like the chocolate chip pancake and I had the waffles and bacon and I had like this like citrus mimosa, which was kind of like a sparkling lemonade with like a blood orange syrup. So I just wanted to stick to a theme, and they were like, "I saw you're doing brunch themed drinks. I'm going to see you next month." So I feel like in some ways, like the social media posting and stuff like that is doing what it's supposed to because a decent amount of people, like probably like a few every week, are saying like, "I saw you post this on Instagram and stuff." I'm not trying to really grow my following in a way that most people will usually try to grow it where they're like, I'm trying to gain more followers. I'll gain whatever followers are interested. I'm not too worried about that. Nothing against having followers. It's not like I'm going to be like, oh no, I have 5,000. That sucks. Like, that would be great. But like, I'm more focused on offering like having drinks that I want to offer and like thinking of like feature drinks and making sure that everything is running how it's supposed to. And, like, if I get the followers, like, that's just, like, an added bonus. Like, every time I get a new follower on Instagram, I always go to their page to see if it's, like, a small business owner that I would like to follow back, or if it's, like, someone's posting certain, like, lifestyle things that I would be interested in also following. So, I notice pretty much every single follower that starts following me on Instagram. I did start a YouTube channel last March, I think. I haven't posted any like long videos or anything. They're pretty much all shorts. And I actually haven't posted anything in a little while because it's just hard for me to like really care too much about posting things in the winter months. I kind of hibernate a little bit.
Yeah, and the thing is too is like social media is the biggest tool to promoting your brand, and a lot of coffee shops are not utilizing that tool
Mhm.
to help them scale or build their branding. And I did a whole like podcast on like you have a content engine machine when it comes to using social media as a marketing for your business. And that's why you see some of these restaurants are closing or some of these like coffee shop owners that don't really do much with their social media
Mhm.
and they're not growing like they want it to be. They just expect it to come and word of
Yeah.
mouth. I think word of mouth somewhat works, but I think social media, you want to bring it to a broader audience and then expand so people can see what's going on.
Mhm.
And doing like featured drinks and showing off new product or just going taking a quick video, "Hey, I'm over here," or doing like a live or something like that will definitely help to get more outreach to your business so people can come and follow you or see you on those locations or what you're doing for those drinks. It's not more of the followership, it's more of people seeing your content and
Yeah.
viewing it. Who cares if they like it or who cares if they like not follow you? They see it, they looked at it. Okay, let me go over to Virgo Rising because they got the speech to drink, or they're going to be at this Del Mar location or this location. So, like, I told a lot of the coffee shop owners, you need to start utilizing it and use your staff too. You know, when you start
Yeah.
showing your staff
Mhm.
on them making drinks and being part of the videos and being part of the content, it makes it more inviting, more fun, and it gives the viewer a perspective on what your business is like and how the staff is getting more involved into the business and being more onto the social media platform. And people's like, hey, I want to go over there because they're having a good time. They're making these awesome drinks. They're making these funny skits. And that's what I think a lot of these places need to start doing more and more. You know, not relying on content creators like me, but it's good for me to go out there and help a business and start promoting it. But I'm not going to go to your place four or five, six times just to promote the same thing over and over again
Yeah.
or something that you're featuring. You need to be doing more. I'll get you started by showing it and getting people involved, but you need to start showing more in your platform to continue to keep that growth going, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Like I do feel like in like the advertising way and marketing yourself, like social media is like free advertising. Like why wouldn't you do it? Like I can see how sometimes it feels like a little annoying and like a pain sometimes when you have to like you can't just like make a quick video. Sometimes your lighting is terrible and they can't see what you're even posting or It's sometimes you just don't look that cute.
It's not all about looks. It's all about like
It is
showing
when you
people
look like a
what's going on.
gremlin. Like, trust me, there is a line. And it's like, if you want to post that, go for it. But like, I don't think I'll post too much gremlin status. I already don't put in too much effort when I do post things. But there are some times where I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to post myself today. Like, and that's fine.
There are days when I look like crap
Yeah,
when I post
exactly.
and like I'm not well groomed, my hair's all messy and everything. I don't care, you know. I'm just there to show what's there, the product, and just have a good time with it and say, hey, come over to this location, try this out. This is what my rating is. I highly recommend it, you know?
Hmm.
That's the whole point of my thing is to promote small businesses and help them out. And it's just fun just being like I don't even consider myself a content creator. I'm just like a blogger, just a coffee blogger, just very excited to try different coffees and promote the business and just have a good time with it. I don't care for like really much of the followership or
Hmm.
anything. I just care of people viewing it and just liking it, you know?
Yeah, like getting like some of the word out on some businesses who might want maybe a little extra support at certain times. And like when you and Carrie showed up at my tent, when she mentioned that, like, oh, my friend who runs Daily Brew Review and stuff like that is going to come over, I was just like, oh, okay, sick. And then when you guys came up, I was like, I forgot that was today. And I was like, well, I'm glad I'm here. Because, like, I have such a busy schedule because I also pet sit and stuff like that, that I have like a little like calendar book where I write everything down, even when I'm hanging out with friends, because otherwise I will completely forget. Oh, yeah, I was going to hang out with her today. I'm home. I forgot to meet you here. So, like, I write everything in there. And she sent me the DM, I was like taking care of some dogs and I forgot to write down like Carrie and Joe coming today. And so when you guys walked up, I was like, okay, hello. Like I
has
really
anybody
need to
like
like parent myself like in like almost like an insane way.
has anybody came up and say, hey, I saw the Daily Brew Reviewers video and said anything to you that or any of
Did
your pop-ups or anything?
did have someone come up a couple weeks after you tried that pumpkin pie latte, and a couple weeks after you tried that and posted it, they were like, hey, I saw this pumpkin pie latte on this Daily Brew Review guy's Instagram, and they were like, "Do you still have it?" And I was like, "No, I have this." And they were like, "Oh, that sucks. Okay, I'll get that instead." But damn, that sucks. They were like, "That sounded so freaking good. I wanted to try it." And I was like, "Well, I'll probably do it again." And they were like, "Please." So I'll probably be bringing. I don't usually bring back like I've been doing featured drinks for events since I started in 2022, and I haven't really recycled very many yet, which is kind of surprising.
Which is your more like popular drink that you know people will come back over and over again? Like that you think that should be featured more often?
Probably like I did whenever I do a version of this, I know how to make vegan custard, and I've done two different drinks with two different kinds of the vegan custard where I did like a Boston cream pie coffee and then I did a tiramisu one uh last summer, I think. And I feel like a lot of people are really enjoying that kind of vegan custard that I'll put in the inside of the cup because it also makes it look kind of cool because it's kind of like got that like really aesthetic looking like splotchy look to the outside. So I feel like that one I'll probably bring back consistently in some way. A lot of people were really interested in this, and this is actually the one drink I have brought back that I did get a few people saying they were excited for. Was when I did Albany Twilight in October a couple years ago, I had a drink called Midnight Chant. And it was like a lemonade that had edible glitter and like black activated charcoal in it. So it was like this black glittery lemonade.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was really pretty. I really liked that drink. It was so pretty. And I did bring it back last year, and a lot of people were really excited to see it back on the menu. So, like, that one was surprisingly, like, I mean, it's really pretty, and I'm not too surprised, but at the same time, I was a little surprised that it was so popular. Because in my mind, I'm thinking this is a pretty easy drink for me to make. Like you
Yeah, yeah.
expect the drinks to have all of these components and all of these, like we do this and then we do this and then we do this. And you'd think like those are the popular ones. Sometimes the simplistic ones that just look kind of cooler actually like pretty popular too.
What is your favorite drink? If you was to rate your drinks out of all the ones you made, which is your most favorite one that you enjoy making and that you like?
I really enjoy making drinks in the fall season during autumn because I just really enjoy putting cinnamon in so many things. Sometimes if I've done like I did a caramel apple lemonade once, and I feel like putting some cinnamon in that and having it be an apple pie latte would be really exciting to do because I don't think I've done an apple pie one actually. I really like putting
If you do, you let me
cinnamon.
know.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see it posted on Instagram. But, like, I really enjoy putting cinnamon in everything. Like, I actually kind of think it's funny. I feel like that's like one ingredient that whenever I want to switch it up a little bit, I add cinnamon. And everyone's like, oh my God, it's so cool. And I'm like, I added cinnamon. That's all it is. But I really do enjoy the fall season. I really love all of the drinks that I can think up. I am kind of a slut for peanut butter. I really enjoy peanut butter and coffee a lot. Like I did a Reese's latte when I did Veg Out last June in Troy. I did like kind of like a Reese's themed menu where I did like a strawberry kiwi lemonade because like in the 90s like strawberry kiwi flavored was everywhere. So I
Yes,
did
it was.
it was everywhere. So I did like a strawberry kiwi lemonade and then I also did like a Reese's latte, which was really, really good. I love peanut butter so much. So that's where I usually flock to is peanut butter flavored coffee.
That's like my wife. She loves peanut butter, and the one thing that she gets is something with like a peanut butter in it and chocolate too.
Mhm. Yeah. I love maple. Maple is really good too.
Yes, it is. Do you have like a specific drink that you make specifically for your brand for Virgo Rising that you can keep on the menu forever? Like a
Cold brew?
Virgo Rising, just your cold brew?
Like I don't really have any I change my syrups every month based off of seasonality in some way. I don't hold too strong to the season, but I do change my syrups every month and I do let my Instagram followers vote on two of the syrups that I'm going to change every month. Just kind of to give them something fun to kind of have an input on. And halfway, I also started doing that because if for some reason someone's like, oh, I was hoping the other one would win, I'd be like, sorry, it didn't win in the polls. And I don't have to like take the blame on myself. I put the blame on someone else. But it's also something fun. Like I definitely have a higher viewership whenever I have my syrup polls and stuff like that. Like more people will see the stories because they get excited about being able to vote on something. It's just something fun to do. So I don't think I actually really have a certain drink that's Virgo Rising specific that I will always have. I really enjoy switching up the syrups every month and then changing the featured drinks to each event. I think in 2026 I might have maybe a through few featured drink menus that are throwbacks to previous drinks that I've done, considering some people I've been doing this for so long. I feel like some people are getting a little bit like, you haven't brought this back yet. And I feel like I'm getting to that
Yeah.
point. And I do have like, I think 85% of all of the featured drinks I've done listed on my website at the bottom of, like, if you click on the menu tab and go to the bottom, it has all of the featured drinks that I've made, like all the menus. So I feel like I might have a couple throwbacks in 2026 because I wanted to do some in 2025 and I just kept thinking of new ideas. So I was like, no, I don't want to do throwbacks yet. So I just kept doing new stuff. But I don't really have like a specific drink to Virgo Rising specifically.
How do you like your coffee? Like, what type of coffee person are you? Do you like cold brew, ice lattes, or iced coffee? Like, how do you like your coffee specific? If you was to get it daily.
I usually get like an iced or a hot oat milk latte, but it really depends as to what I'm eating because if I'm eating something savory, I'll get like a maple or some kind of sweetener in my latte or in my cold brew. But if I'm eating something sweet, I don't want something sweet in my coffee because that's a lot of, it's not too much sugar for a person, but I feel like for me, I just don't really like it. So I'll usually get like no syrup, but I feel like an oat milk latte is kind of like my consistent go-to for the most part.
All right, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Have you ever tried doing like pour overs or like an AeroPress and just drinking coffee, just regular black, tasting the notes of the coffee itself? Like, for instance, I do a lot of pour overs and I do some AeroPress. So if I have a specific coffee from like Ethiopia or Colombia or Bali, I would like to taste like the fruitiness or the notes of that bean from that region. Have you ever done any of those, like drinking it black and just tasting what it's like?
But yeah, like I definitely drink, especially when I'm home, I tend to drink more black coffee just because sometimes I'm a little too lazy to go and get the milk. And if I'm doing an iced oat milk latte, I need to make sure I have ice made in my freezer. And if I don't have ice made, I'm like, do I feel like steaming milk right now? So usually I do a lot of Americanos at home where I can just like easily pull the double shot and then just add some hot water to it and it's done. Or I'll do French press, but I do enjoy black coffee pretty frequently. And when I'm home, mostly because I'm a little lazy. Like I actually have this method. I call it a like ratchet pour over. And I take, it's not suggested, but I think it's funny. Like as a coffee shop, like okay, as a coffee pop-up owner, that I have like this like lazy subpar version of making my coffee in the morning sometimes, where I'll get one of those like tea baskets you put inside the mug for your tea, and I put whatever ground coffee I have. I put a filter in there with the coffee, and I just pour the water over it and let it steep like tea, and I'm like, tastes good to me. I know it's not tasting as good as it could, but I just want a black coffee.
I've seen the people do that with the same way with like a bag, and they just do it like a cold brew version, just let it steep overnight. But you're doing it like the quick and easy way. All right,
Yeah, it's like
I'm
a
just
lazy
I just
pour
feel like doing
over.
it.
Because
Yeah,
it's not even the
exactly.
proper grind of coffee. Most of the time, it's French press ground coffee that I'm putting in the filter. So it's supposed to be more
Yeah,
fine, and it's not. And I'm like, I'm gonna know I'm drinking coffee. I'm still gonna like it.
yeah, yeah. Well, now we get into close to the end of the podcast. Is there anything you want to say, last thoughts, or how people can follow you and where they can catch you on your next event?
Yeah, so I would just like to say thank you for having me on. Like, this was actually really exciting. I was like, I've never done a podcast before. Cool. So, like, thank you
Yeah.
for, like, inviting me here and everything like that. This is a pretty cool space. I'm glad to be a part of it. I do have an Instagram and a YouTube, same handle at Virgo Rising Coffee. My website is virgorisingcoffee.com, so it's pretty consistent, easy to find. I have been confirmed that I'm going to be at the Delmar Farmers Market again this year for the third year running, which is exciting. And then I am doing the Albany Twilight Markets for the entire season as well. So those are the consistent ones that I have confirmed I'm signed up for. I'm going to be there, and I'm really excited for that. Albany Twilight, I know when it's May to September, they go to the Quackenbush Square. And then October and December is at the Washington Park Lake House.
So everybody follow Virgo Rising, and then
Yeah.
just book her for special events. She'll be there for weddings, bar mitzvahs, any event that you guys have planned, birthday parties, or if you're doing like a bridal shower.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect way to get a person like her to come over there and cater your event and just having coffee and then just enjoying, because everybody loves coffee, especially iced lattes.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
follow Virgo Rising. I'll have all the information down below. It was good having you.
Yeah. Thank you.
That wraps up today's episode of Behind the Roast podcast. Thanks to Jackie from Virgo Rising Coffee for sharing her story, her journey in the coffee industry, and the mission behind building a more eco-friendly and vegan-exclusive coffee experience. If you enjoyed the conversation, make sure you follow the podcast so you don't miss future episodes with coffee shop owners, roasters, and creators from across the coffee community. And remember, every great cup of coffee has a story behind it. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.